Let's continue learning objectives of impression making. Now, in the previous lecture, we saw about the retention. Do you see the penguin wobbling here? Now imagine that happening to your denture. Would that be okay? No, right? That brings us to today's topic, that is stability as an objective of impression making. Let's quickly look into the definition now. So basically, it is the resistance of denture to the horizontal forces. Now, we know that for maxillary and mandible, there are going to be different forces that would dislodge against the horizontal direction. Basically, for maxillary, it is the form of hard palate that will come into picture. And it is very well known that U-shaped and rounded are desirable when it comes to offering stability. While flat, because it is flatter, the ridges are flatter, there would be no horizontal displacement that would be resisted, and at the same time V shape would not always offer the desirable goal. Moving on to the mandible now. So in the previous lecture we had discussed a lot about neutral zone. It was a concept given by Fish in 1933 that said that the forces that were acting from the buccal surface and from the tongue should be nullified, and this zone where the forces were zero or basically balanced, that is the place where the teeth should be placed. So this basically accounts for your neutral zone. Now we know that when are the teeth going to be in contact? It is only when they are in function, that is basically during mastication and swallowing, that they would come in contact. So what we would want is that at that point of time as well, the forces should be nullified, such that from neither of the direction are the forces so great that it is leading to dislodgement of denture. We also know that denture always has three surfaces: the occlusal surface, the polished surface, and the impression surface. Now we know that the occlusal surface that offers the occlusal form or gives the anatomical form should be placed in the neutral zone. What about the polished surface? So it is always desirable to have a slope such that it can house the tongue. And one of the very important feature is that the tongue should rest upon the occlusal surface, because the tongue is going to offer that broader surface area and also is going to make sure that it is well seated onto the ridge. So this is one thing that also needs to be considered. So let's talk about all of these surfaces in detail. Now, talking about the intaglio surface. So what does the intaglio surface mean? This is also known as the impression surface, or the one that comes in contact with the tissue. So there will be soft tissue that will come in picture, there will be hard tissue, and then there would be the parts of denture. So all of these are going to be in contact. Talking about the residual ridge anatomy and how it affects the stability. So if we have to take this into consideration, then the square, because it has the broadest surface, will offer excellent stability, round will offer moderate stability, and the least would be given by tapered. Now because we know that on the crest it's going to be really pointy, and hence tapered will not offer that stability. Talking about the next thing, that would be mandibular lingual flange. So now we know that the lingual flange should be at 90 degree. Why? Because 90 degree means that the perpendicular forces are going to be borne well. You remember buccal shelf area? It was a desirable or a stress bearing area. We can load it with stress. Why? Again, because it is at the 90 degree, that is perpendicular to the occlusal plane. Thus, it is going to bear the horizontal forces really well. Then what needs to be done? The extension has to be deep lingually. Deeper the extension, better the coverage, more would be the resistance to horizontal force. Talking about the denture base adaptation now. So what do we want? This is the impression surface or the intaglio surface. So there should be maximum amount of contact. More the amount of contact, more would be the resistance. And the last being the soft tissue part, which is floor of the mouth. So now this will be governed majorly by the musculature, that is the muscles that come and play a role in floor of the mouth. The mucosa should be resilient and thick or firm such that it offers resistance to the movement. Movable tissues are not desirable. So always remember that the tissue that would be desirable or acceptable would be firm and resilient in nature. Now we move on to the chemiosurface. Now we know that this surface is going to come in contact with adjacent tissue. So there is going to be action of muscle group that should be permitted, right? It shouldn't interfere with muscle movement. It should easily allow muscles to do it function. So functioning of some muscle can be used to enhance stability. And when we talk about this factor, what comes to our mind? It is the modulus. Now, this is very, very important when we talk MCQ point of view, when we talk examination, like competitive examination point of view. Modulus is that structure which comes at the corner of mouth and which is formed by junction of 8 muscles. Now, these 8 muscles play a very important role when we talk about modulus. How is it going to enhance stability? Now, because there are so many muscle insertion here, recording this area well during border molding itself will help us attain stability in the denture. Talking about the occlusion. Now, occlusion should always be balanced. A balanced occlusion will have simultaneous contact in right and left, centric and eccentric position. During function, it is going to maintain contact such that it does not allow tipping to happen. At every time, there is going to be contact which will maintain the position of denture in the mouth. So the occlusion that would be desired would be balanced. Then we will talk about the tooth position and occlusal plane. They should be placed in the relative position similar to that of natural teeth. We actually are just trying to replace what was natural, and also we keep in mind that we try to replicate and give as much as natural structure that is possible. And the ridge relationship. So I have been repeating this, that whatever may be pre-prosthetic surgery or may be giving occlusion, we always desire that we get it in class 1 relationship. Now at times you would tell that you had a patient and you had to give class 2 or class 3 type of arrangement. Why did this happen? Because you did not anticipate it during the pre-prosthetic phase. So then you have to alter your occlusion, or you have to alter your teeth arrangement. But the desirable form is always class 1. I want you to remember that when we talk about ridge relationship, it's always class 1. But yes, we do have methods if at all we have to manage unusual or abnormal classifications. Now, let's talk about a very small story, okay? So we had a lazy zombie who was running after a man for his life. But he stopped for a while to bite a red donut. So our man got some time to run. Correct? And the man goes to a house and bangs on the door. Please open the door. Please open the door. In the meanwhile, that this zombie was busy eating his red donut, our man had a chance to go and seek help. So this will help you to remember the insertion of your modulus. Lazy is levator anguli oris. Zombie is zygomaticus major. Stop to bite a red donut. So biting buccinator, red risorius, donut depressor anguli oris, and the man was banging the door. What was he saying? Please open the door. So this, please being platysma, open orbicularis oris, open orbicularis oris, and door being depressor anguli inferioris. So now the next time that you see this figure, or whenever you have this question, I just want you to recall this figure and tell me the 8 muscles that are involved in insertion or forming of modulus. So it is the lazy, zombie, biting red donut, and the man yelling, please open the door. So this is the insertion that we see in the Modiolus. So now let's quickly solve the MCQ. The Modiolus has a significant influence on the stability of mandibular complete denture, primarily because it forms the posterior border seal. Do you think that's the truth? No, it's not. It's nowhere related to forming the posterior seal. It's a primary stress bearing area. Again, no. Modiolus has no relation with primary stress bearing area. It represents a convergence of multiple facial muscle that exert horizontal forces on the denture flange. So all of these 8 muscles are going to come together and exert force on the denture flange. So this is correct. Let's see the last option. It determines the vertical dimension. No, it does not. Modiolus does not have relation with the height of the face. It's rather more related to exerting forces. Hence C is the correct answer. Quickly going to the flashcard. So it says, define neutral zone in complete denture prosthodontics and explain how tooth arrangement within this zone enhances denture stability. So first thing, what is neutral zone? It is that area which has same amount of force acting from the buccal or the labial side and counteracted by the lingual side. And why is it so important? Because when the teeth are placed in neutral zone, they have balanced muscular forces. This will prevent lateral displacement during function and it will convert the muscular activity into stabilizing force. Rather than displacing, it turns into stabilizing force. And hence it is very, very important to understand that at all times we try to give this in neutral zone, which usually comes out to be at the crest, but there is a specific technique to locate the neutral zone that we would be talking in impression making. So if you want to know more about this thing, go to the next video. But before that, you have to go read the mind map, solve MCQ and flashcard, evaluate yourself. You can revisit all the videos and I'll see you soon.